Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the ting ting floor. Who wrote this, AEW? Knock it off, Bruce, even though I have to admit, I did rather enjoy that. Hey, what is up, fight fans? It is mattmcmuscles here, your favorite muscled skeleton man. And today, I thought I'd be doing something a little bit different from the normal gameplay stuff. Some of you may have seen over on Babe Ruthless's channel, she took a look at some fighting game comic books. Now, this is a subject I've wanted to tackle for a while, and now that she made her great video, I urge you to check that out. When this video is done, I urge you to check that out because it's a great little retrospective on a couple of fighting game comics and stuff. She goes into them pretty deep. I just thought I would take a look at some of my fighting game comic memories and some stuff I've never really seen that much before. I did a little bit of research. I found some stuff where I'm like, whoa! So allow me to whoa with you as we check out some fighting game comic book clarity. All right, so first thing is obviously the Mortal Kombat comics from Malibu. I was hyped to shit at the time for these things because I was just a huge Mortal Kombat mark, as we all were. And I only got my hands on a couple of random issues scattered throughout, whatever was available at the time. So this is just, to wet your whistle and how it looks. It usually carried this sort of art style. That Sonya butt is doing work. That beat a whole bakery right there. And I guess Goro's been banging out the roids because he's, 20 feet tall? That's crazy. And who are they looking at? Who's better than Goro? Wow. Did AI draw this? What is with this one Goro finger? What that finger do, though? But, yeah, Blood and Thunder was the one I saw most commonly. Then they had many, many, many other series and sub-series over the years after that point. So we have a lot to blast through. And this is one of the Mortal Kombat Battle Wave. This was a second series that started after Blood and Thunder finished, or they're going on at the same time. I don't know. This is a sick-ass cover. Neon green electric sparks. Kintaro fighting with Goro. Yo, that's based as fuck. I would love to read this. This is issue number 4. I felt like they put out a lot of these comics a lot of quickly. They lasted for maybe 2 years, but they made dozens and dozens of random issues and one-shots and shit. But Battle Wave is the other series. I don't really know much about it. I think it constituted Mortal Kombat 2, if memory serves. I might be wrong on that. And if I'm wrong or am looking for information on any of these comics, please, if you know, let me know in the comments. And if you recommend some or particular issues, I'd love to check them out in the future videos. So just putting that PSA out there. But yeah, this is a nice, sharper piece of artwork. I find this art is synonymous with the Mortal Kombat Malibu comics. You saw it all the time, and we'll be seeing it a bunch more. So this is one of the first mini-series, Goro, Prince of Pain, featuring Baraka. Goro, you okay, bro? Looks like there's some things going wrong here. It looks like you're being birthed out of a hole in the ground. I guess you're a dwarf. And you okay there? It looks like your temperature's a little high. So, Prince of Pain, I think it was a 4-issue miniseries. I had the first issue where it's just Goro standing on a white background, not doing nothing. So I don't really think it was worth looking at for this particular video. And just Baraka's just, I guess I gotta kneel down here so I can see Goro. Goro, they getting a good shot of you, bro? And he's like, yeah, I'm here, and I look like I'm dropping something behind me because the strain on my face is sweaty. But yeah, almost every character, if you can believe it, got a mini-series or a one-shot. And I think Goro's was like the only one that really went anywhere. Like I think it had the most issues. We'll be seeing lots more of those, and I think they all probably got worse from there. So the pairing you always wanted, Raiden and Kano. I had the first issue of this. There was like a reason why it was specifically I had to team up with Kano. I had to use him to, or they were linked or something. I don't know, but it was some sort of plan hatched by Raiden. I don't remember if this. I know this must have been a mini series. Maybe 3 issues. That's my memory of it. Anyway, I was a huge Raiden fan back then too. Love Mortal Kombat 2 Raiden, so anything with him on the cover, I was bound to get. It was kind of cool on Kano back then. It was only until the first Mortal Kombat movie where I was all aboard the Kano train. I never want to get off that ride. So, yeah. This is another pretty cool cover. I will say, out of a lot of the comic books we'll be looking at, Mortal Kombat seemed to have the most exciting, eye-catching, ball-grabbing covers, you know? A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them got you hyped, and this was kind of one of them, even though this pairing is just so odd. Next up, we have another issue of Battle Wave. I'm including this just because it's fucking cool. Just Jade and Smoke, and depending on when you saw this comic book on store shelves, you had no idea who the fuck these two were. If you weren't really in the know, if you weren't reading like game magazines at every month, or were able to play Mortal Kombat 2, like again, I don't know the time frame when these released. I want to say 93. Anyway, I just think this is a cool piece of art. They both look super sick. Yeah, wait a minute. Maybe not this. Well, she looks sick. She's coming down with something. I don't know. At least Smoke's keeping a lockdown. He's keeping the cool factor. And I love that she has to stand in his stink lines. They're all coming from behind him, all around him. She's like, Jesus, Smoke, could you see somebody about that? That looks like an issue. And he's like, girl, you should talk. Baraka. Yep. Baraka got a one-shot comic book. I've not read this. Don't know anything about it. The mightiest of the mutants in Outworld. Hey, Ninja Turtles would like to have a word with you. In his own tale of survival. Also, keep an eye out for the Kung Lao and Kitana and Melina one-shot issues. So everyone, you get a comic and you get a comic. I will say this is a pretty striking piece of art. I like how sketchy it sort of is. With the pencil lines, and look at the detail with the reflection on the sword. Like you can see his teeth here, his sword, his blade, whatever. But yeah, that's pretty nice, I will say. I don't know if this is any good. Let me know if you've read it. I can't imagine it is, because up until Mortal Kombat 1, Baraka, the biggest of jobbers, so I can't imagine this comic is about anything but jobbing. Battle Wave returns, but this time, Sonya Blade, Shao Kahn, the wedding you'd hope you'd never see. Like, we're on issue 6 of Battle Wave and we're already bringing out wedding gimmicks. Like it's fucking wrestling, you know? It's Johnny and Jack, no! We object! Like, I would love to read this to see if it goes anywhere. I don't even think they'd be throwing roses at this particular wedding. I would imagine most Outworld weddings are kind of dire. Like, they're throwing torsos and, like, you know, heads onto into the wedding chapel or whatever. But this is already smacks of desperateness, you know? Desperation. Dude, your hands are too big. Your hands are too big. He's not even, like, yeah, he's a head taller than her, but he's not much, like, his head is just a little bit bigger. It's too big. You could throw her as a projectile. So I don't know about that, but yeah. You know times were tough if Malibu was already doing these sorts of things. So here's another one-shot issue. Special Forces. Yes, the Special Forces are so interesting. They have to have their own merry band of rejects that I've never seen before. Who are these people? What are their names? Okay. Brigade. Electroshock. Cyber. Hack and slash. And I don't know. Her name is Sonya Blade, let's say. And he looks kind of like a Jax. Anyway, 1 of 2 issues. Plus a Kano breakout story and previews of the all-new Mortal Kombat series. So yeah, anything that we could do at any time. Give them more. The kids crave Mortal Kombat. Look at this price. I'm just noticing this $4.80 in Canada. $3.50 even in America seems like that's expensive at the time. Let me know if those prices jive in 93, 94. Anyway, I'm surprised that these characters haven't been added to Mortal Kombat fan games and Mugens and shit. Look at these idiots. This guy especially, this is a comic book guy from 1993 for sure. So, never read this. Let me know how it is. It's probably trash. Katana and Melina learn the shocking truth that the game already kind of tells you in their bio screens. The secret of Katana revealed. Okay, that's the same thing. It's the same information, really. Not a big fan of this. Greg Horn, I'm sure he's a competent artist, but this particular take is kind of weird. I don't know. It's like half like CGI rendered and like half illustrated. It just has a very old look to it, not in like a good way. Not in like a classic 80s way. There's just something off about it. And, they're not doing anything particularly interesting. But wait, it's 95? Wait, these comics are probably older than I thought. They're doing Katana and Melina stories in 95 when MK3 was already out. No wonder these probably didn't do very well. I have to assume number 1 is the only one. I can't imagine there was more after this. How many more secrets are there? There's only one, and it's not even a secret. Anyway, Katana and Melina, anything that they could like combine more characters in there, like already saw Raiden and Kano, and I think there's like one other. I can't really remember, but yeah, not the best cover, and it's already kind of we're scraping the bottom of the barrel already with this, Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition 2. Who's this? No idea who this is. Anyway, I guess this is a Mortal Kombat 2 focus comic. Maybe that's supposed to be Jax. All right, so he's hitting Goro, so that's wrong. MK2 Shang Tsung is here. Jade is there. So I don't know what the fuck they're on about. What are you saying? It looks like Johnny Cage. Not 100%, but this is not a great illustration. Just because it's like you see the back of a character, you barely see who this one is. Again, we're assuming it's Goro. And Tournament Edition 2. What does that mean? Kayfabe me. What does that mean in terms of comics and in terms of adapting the video game? Plus, it looks like we're in a crazy planet over here. I'm not really sure what's going on. It's very Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. Anyway, 48-page special. $5.25. Fuck off. And as you can see, delving into actual comic book panels, not always accuracy was, the name of the game. Do you remember when Scorpion used a spiked mace? It's very clear. It makes it crystal what the weapon is when he shoots it out. And it's even on a rope. I think it wasn't until MK9 when he started using chains. While he lived, he was ninja, yet his true name and origin were never known by anyone. Hanzo. His name was Hanzo. He was killed in battle, yet his spirit lives on, seeking vengeance. Call him Scorpion. Get over here. And as with his arachnid namesake, you should always be careful when near him. Careful of the scorpion sting. A scorpion is an arachnid. Editor, please correct me on there. I thought it was something else. Thought only spiders were arachnids. Anyway, I'm probably very wrong on that. But yeah, if I saw this as a kid, I'd flip my shit. I'd be like, what? Have you not played the games? I would have ripped it up. I would have peed on that comic. Easy. That's an easy peeing, right? Because if I saw this, I'd just be like, yeah, there's no point. There's no point in reading anymore. You already failed. And of course, these comics couldn't do nothing but not have some OCs. And this is Kwang Siang! Basically, these were two monks from the White Lotus Society, I believe, and they would just fusion, and they'd make this wonderful creative character that someone pressed random on. And he has this yellow mask, this Matlock from Fighter's History, mohawk, two different colored gloves, very Iron Fist, yeah. I don't think this guy really went anywhere. I know that there are people that have put him in fan games and stuff, because I guess he has a little bit more going on that you would think for many other Mortal Kombat OCs from the comics, because there's like one or two more that I'm aware of. But yeah, see, when you combine two people, right? Twice the strength, twice the speed, twice the endurance. Individually, they're not very good, but together, they kind of almost make a Mortal Kombat fighter. That's this guy's gimmick. It's not great. I still can't believe he attacked an entire Special Forces unit alone. Face it, Jax. There's no one more dangerous than Kano. I gotta tell you, Sonya, I'm a little bit scared. You should be scared. Why does his face gotta be like that? And this is a really weird interpretation of rain. I don't really know what's going on, all these black shadows, splotches. This is a very concerning panel. Look at this. It is supposed to be Jax from the Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition 2 cover. He's got this weird thing. This weird shirt. I don't know where they got that from, but yeah, I don't know who the fuck this is supposed to be. Johnny Deformed? I don't know. But it ain't no Jax. Jax is way more handsome than that. So yeah, this I give this panel a 0 out of 10. It's rough. All right, I just remember this guy super well. He is a 6-armed Shoken warrior with 6 nunchucks. That's so much chucking. It's crazy. I forget his name though. I just always remember, oh man, the Mortal Kombat Malibu comics have this motherfucker and he's the coolest. Look at him. Had a weird name. It was like Grum. I think it was like Grum or something like that, because it had to be like a G style name to go with Goro and stuff. But yeah, this dude should be in Mortal Kombat Mugens and shit. Please make him playable in Mortal Kombat 1. Oh wait, that's not gonna happen anymore. But anyway, this guy is probably the only really cool OC they had. I think there was one more called Hydro, which is basically just a bad Sub-Zero. I don't know what happened to him, in all honesty. I know what happened here. Liefeld got his hands on poor Goro. That's what I thought too. That Goro would make a most upfitting agent for the God of Order. But Abacus' theory, one that Goro plans to put to a test. So let's get crazy. What the fuck? Armed and dangerous. Again. Dude, I never want context for this ever. Oh, I don't want it. If you have it, don't give it to me. What's this giant egg? What's this like It's so fucking weird. That, in all honesty, this makes like Liefeld look like fucking Jim Lee or something. It's bad. What's going on here? I mean, I can't even understand where his hands are going. Anyway, yeah, don't explain this to me. I never want to know. I just want to keep this image trapped in my mind forever, and I'm happy with that. All right, there's this other guy. Yeah, Zagot, I guess. The land is outworld, and as is so often the case here, the situation is perilous. I will wring every ounce of despair and uncertainty from this world, and if I have to first step over your dead carcass, then so be it. He's the god of chaos. That would be most unwise. That's a rough-looking Goro there, I have to say. Oh, what is with this face? What is with this? That would be most unwise considering the circumstances. Do not delude yourself, Goro. There is no weapon that can harm the combatant. It's some fucking weirdo called the Combatant? And it's this weird Goro Cyclops hybrid? As if he could be any more annoying. What the fuck? I'm glad I stopped reading these things. Oh wait, this is Goro Prince of Pain issue number 3. November 94. Oh my god. No wonder I never saw anything after issue 1. It's because it got into this weirdo shit. That's not fun. That's not fun for anybody. So, this shocked me. There was a Mortal Kombat 4 comic at some point. Limited edition. So I don't know who put this out, but I have to assume it was like maybe like a freebie, like a promotional thing. But yeah, this is actually cool, and that's a render of Mortal Kombat 4 characters I've never seen before. It definitely looks official. It's just I've never seen them in this grouping. Raiden, what are you doing here? These demons are the servants of Shinnok, and this is Fujin, the god of wind. He fell from the heavens while defending the other god's eternal palace from Shinnok's attack. The other gods are under attack. Jeez, Liu Kang. Keep up. It was a sneak attack. Somehow you gain access going through Edenia. Edenia, that's Princess Katana's world. I've got to help her. Patience, Liu. Keep it in your pants. Fujin and I are the last of Earth's gods, and the elder gods have been weakened by Shinnok's attack. If we're going to be successful, we must coordinate a planned attack. Fujin and I will return to the Eternal Palace and battle Shinnok's forces. You gather as warriors. I'll return to Edenia to continue the fight here. Wait! And then they just go away. This is weird. I've never seen this. The writing's pretty stilted, and the art's nothing really to say anything about. I always hate it when they have characters that have, like, no pupils on the sides. Like, I know you're going to say, oh, Raiden doesn't have pupils. Yeah, fair enough. But then they do it with Liu Kang. They just do it a lot. You see this repeated a lot in, like, you know, comics where they don't have a lot of budget and a lot of time. They just kind of do this, and they're like, that's good enough, you know? Then, of course, after that, we have the DC MKX comics. I was kind of interested in these at the time. Obviously, when Warner Brothers got their hands on the Mortal Kombat franchise, DC just made sense to make them. My problem with these is that they started up in the middle of a narrative. Like, there was just absolutely no breathing room, no explanations of things that are going on. I kind of wanted to see that stuff like built from the ground up. Like, I honestly think they should have started with like 3 issues of like Mortal Kombat 9, recapping that, then going into MKX. But it just felt like you just thrust into a story and things happen on every single page. And the art is nicely done. It's just so edgy, and everyone is just so badass looking that you just can't connect with the characters, if that makes sense. Anyway, this is the first cover. I did own this. I think I owned a trade paperback of it, and I never read it fully through. It would just lose my attention. I don't know if like that happened to anybody else. There's just something off with these comics. That's a cool picture, I guess. I don't know if this is supposed to be an homage to something. I feel like it is. I've never seen this cover before, so that's crazy. Is it supposed to be an homage to Geese Howard standing with Billy Kane and Ripper and Hopper? I'm not sure. And this is kind of what I mean. Lots of Mortal Kombat 3D era characters get killed on every single page. Moloch, Draman, God, Suhao, Cobra, Kira, probably. Poor Moloch. He doesn't really, he doesn't really deserve that, I don't think. Oh, poor Draman, though. I'm assuming that's Draman. Moloch! Aw. And this is a weird pairing. Hey, hands off, Goro, please. Melina doesn't play like that. Will Goro take revenge against the usurper? Very well, Melina. You will restore the Shokan to her former glory, and I, in return, will finish Kotal Khan. And he pretty much does. He beats the crap out of Kotal Khan in this, if memory serves. Anyway, like, there's so many factions, there's so many characters, and it just seemed like at a breakneck pace all the time. And even though I'm familiar with all these characters and I was playing the games at this point, I just didn't feel like it worked in a comic book medium, this particular story, because there was all this crazy shit happening all the time. I think focusing on just a few characters and then bringing more in like a later time, but it just seemed like a new character on every single page, you know? Yeah, it's just always wars going on every single second. In Outworld, my empire will not be conquered. Look, Kintaro, get fucking in. And he's got like his weapon style from Mortal Kombat Armageddon, I think. Kotal Khan is a coward. Just as Reiko and Melina called upon the Red Dragon, he begs the aid of the Black Dragons to keep his throne. Let us remind him that true Outworlders need no help from Earthrealm. Let us grind their bones to dust. Shura! Shura! Yeah, they love it. Anyway, I think this is our last panel of this comic book, and like I said, I just don't feel like it worked very well in this particular medium. It's kind of like that last, not the last Mortal Kombat animated movie, the one after the Scorpion one, like that was a huge clusterfuck because they tried to fit in like 3 games at once. And it's kind of the same feeling here to me. Even though they're only trying to fit in 1 game, they're bringing in 3D era stuff too. It's just kind of a mess to me. Oh wait, we got one more. You will regret following me, Shu Hao. You know the consequences. We betrayed the Red Dragon, Kenshi. I don't remember. Does anyone remember Kenshi betraying the Red Dragon? Anyway, well, dismantle your body, then dismantle your boy. Rawr! Dagon commands. I forgot Dagon started the fucking Red Dragon. And then someone, I think Kenshi cuts off Suhao's head or someone takes his heart out or whatever at some point. But yeah, that concludes the tale of Suhao. I don't know if these comics are canon, like if NetherRealm Studios counts them as canon. But if they do, then that's one dead Suhao, you know what I'm saying? All right, moving on, we got the KI comic book series. Now, I'm not going to spend too much on this one, just because I talked about it, pretty at length in my Killer Instinct documentary over on the main Matt My Muscles channel. I just picked this particular cover because this was the little exclusive insert mini comic that was put into Nintendo Power, and I just like this piece of art. I just love Jago's perfectly coiffed hair, how weird this orchid is, how giant her eyeballs are, and I like Jago's background here. So this was like kind of like a little preview comic. It wasn't part of the main run. I do own this still to this day, so I'm very happy. This is like Armada Comics, and then they changed their name in the very next first issue to Acclaim Comics, but they're the same company, pretty much. But yeah, this was a good time. This was a good fucking time, this comic. I loved it a lot. I think it's much better than Mortal Kombat comics that, from the 90s at least, that I read. I didn't read enough of the MKX stuff, but out of my way, miss. It's his wound, the one he received yesterday from Saberwolf. I love how ripped her. She's just up here. Is he okay? I hope he'll be all right. And it almost looks like Riptor is saying this bubble here. It's reopened and terribly infected. This is no normal wound. The infection spread through his body. Awesome. Well, not awesome. It's bad for Jago, but it's great drama for us. This piece of art, yo, this is fucking super sick. I don't really want to draw Saber. We'll put him all the way over there. What's Glacius look like? What's his color scheme? It's close enough. Yeah, Riptor's green. Yeah. Riptor's orange, idiot. TJ Combo's just a giant floating head. That's cool. That's a fine spinal, though. I'll give him that. So I don't know what's going on with Jaco's wrinkly crotch. His dick fat slipping out the top of his onesie. His neck, is his neck big enough? And of course, we have to get to this orchid picture. You have to look at this Japanimation. Look at it. Look. She got the butt out there. She got the tees out there. She's doing all of it. That's a great pose. I'd like to see Jago in this pose too. That's an okay Thunder. Again, giant floating head. And that Cinder is just Molten Man. That's not even, like, he should be more Johnny Storm, less Molten Man. It's kind of boring looking. He just looks like a red Glacius because he looks shiny, you know. So I don't know what the artist was on when they decided with that. But yeah, this is just like, you know, a pinup. There's probably like an issue like 1 or 2 or whatever. I just always remember it. And I just love how just anime Orchid is compared to everyone else. Everyone be the same, but her, she's got it going on. She's got that late 80s, early 90s anime feel. God bless her. Oh yeah, so part of the main story thrust of the entire Killer Instinct comic is that the evil CEO of Ultratech, this bald dude right here, Wilson Fisk from the future, brings Idol through the portal, and then Idol's bored. Like, he's like, this is lame. So are the sophisticated monitoring system, Master, and the martial law decree. We hold the populace in the palm of our hand. You think you know power, human? You know nothing. What? What I have done on your behalf does not please you? This is a baller line, though. I have to give him it. We have commanded legions of the undead, fought battle to where bodies of our enemies littered the landscape as far as our eyes could see. That's technically true. He has 2 eyes. You have merely made your people inconvenienced. We will soon show you what power is. So yeah, it's a really good adaptation, even though there's not like a ton of lore you can take from KI in terms of the details. But it's like, yeah, it just follows the hero fighters, Jago, TJ Combo, T-Hawk, and Orchid, and just kind of chronicles a few of their fights, and they're all trying to just stop the CEO of Ultratech, and he's bringing Idol in, and then I think Jago and Orchid just, beat his ass, and that's kind of it. It's a solid thing. It's like only 6 issues, so if you ever see it in a comic book store, you want to eBay it, or just you can't find it digitally anymore. But yeah, it's a big recommend for me, especially if you obviously like KI or fighting games in general. Now, the Tekken 3 comic from Image. I only learned about this through Babe Rufus's video. Not even Tekken 3. There's a bit of Tekken 4 in there. Because Unknown is here. Look at how good they all look. Look at how cool they look. Amazing. I need to track these down. I need to read all of these. Anyway, I love that's called Tekken Forever. Maybe it's trying to do a Tekken 4 thing. But yeah, Unknown's there. There's Saberwolf up there. Couldn't find much of this comic surviving online. I suppose if it did a deep dive, I could have found a little bit more, but I do have this one panel. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the ting floor. Who wrote this, AEW? Knock it off, Bruce, even though I have to admit, I did rather enjoy that. What the fuck? Again, I want no context at all. Zero, right? Too amazing as it is. Drowning Pool plus Tekken, the ultimate combination. That's right, there's another Tekken comic, the Tekken Saga. Is this real? I'm not even sure this is Nightstone. I don't even know what to say. It seems like it's just adapting Tekken 2, which is cool. I just kind of saved this, and I was gonna actually say my piece about it now, but I don't know what my piece is because this up here looks fake to me. Please don't let this be some AI shit. Anyway, I don't know if this is 100% real, but it's interesting nonetheless. Man, fucking martial law better watch out here because he's literally getting struck by lightning. Damn. Alright, so there was a Tekken 7 comic, Blood Feud, put out by Titan Comics. And I have seen people say this was actually really good. And I don't believe you, but that's what I'm hearing. Anyway, I have this one panel. It looks pretty sick, actually, I do have to say. What kind of artifacts? The kind that shall never fall into the wrong hands. Like your dear old granddaddy's, one is particularly dangerous. Artifact 333. I need you to fetch it from the archive before Heihachi learns of its existence. But why us? Why can't you get it yourself? Why can't this thing stop scratching? You got fleas, bear? That's good. Fuck! Told you not to call her bear. This is no flea. That's a G-Core tracker. Kaboom! Oh, man, get annihilated, yo! Okay, now I'm a believer. Maybe this comic is sick. I need to track this down. So, we have probably the most elusive comic in the bunch, Virtua Fighter by Marvel. As you can see, literally every popular fighting game from the 90s that like a franchise got a comic book. And I can't find a single inside panel from this. And as you can see, it's from the same artist that did like Mortal Kombat for Malibu. So that's crazy to me. This cover art was also used on Virtua Fighter Remix in the USA, I believe. Which is a nice little fact. I love how as you get back here, there are other artists like, fuck it, I don't want to draw these guys. Look at this Jackie. That just looks like Marvin Mystery or some shit. I'm not a fan of that. Anyway, let me know if you've read this, if it's worth tracking down, because I would like to give it a gander. All right, we're kind of winding down because now we're getting into the Primal Rage shit. So I do own the complete set of this. I don't know why. I didn't know this existed. Serious Comics 104. I think this is pretty much an indie comic book, although it was officially licensed. It's a weird interpretation of Primal Rage, but at the same time, it's the only interpretation you could do. I'll show you what I mean. Basically, it's not written from any of the dinosaurs' perspectives because they can't talk. So it's done like as if there was a narrator and they're just kind of giving you the history of what's happening and the various tribes that are like worshiping each Primal Rage character. The blood of fiends is truly sweet nectar to the righteous. Hear the cries for vengeance by Armadon's tribe. Diablo is a fierce and mighty foe indeed. See how easily Diablo's followers are crushed by Hammerblow the virtuous brother. Armadon has scored a deadly blow, or has he? I don't know, brother. I don't know if he has. But look, the art's not bad. It does kind of have a slightly more indie comic book vibe. And I don't think I've read every issue, but I read at least the first two. And I was like, wow, this is better than it should be. And it was really ballsy for anyone to make a comic book based on it. I think it was more like Primal Rage is popular. Let's just like, get someone to it. And they actually went pretty hard. Reminds me something of like 2000 Comics AD or whatever, those like British comic books. Like this, because it's kind of strange source material to sort of put in this format, but there it is. Do we have another panel? Yeah, we do. You now stand before Almighty Diablo. Tremble in his presence, heathen. So it's this guy that's talking. And for a second, it looked like Diablo is the one saying it. For this dwelling place is now his domain. So this is like actually supposed to be right before the panel we just saw. Sorry about that. But yeah, this is what you can expect if you want to read the Primal Rage comic. Again, better than you'd think. And finally, of course, we have to end with Malibu. Once again, they were the first company to actually get the license to make Street Fighter comics. And in this very early phase of merchandising Street Fighter, I don't think Capcom knew what they were doing and just kind of trusted the weirdos at Malibu to do a good job with it. And I think the team they assigned to this project did not do a good job with it. But I was a fucking mark and I bought this because look at it. I was like, holy shit, Street Fighter comics, let's go. The hottest game in the world is now Malibu's hottest comic. We'll see if it's Malibu's hottest comic because it only lasted for 3 issues. And they're quite insane, as evidenced here. By the 3rd issue, Malibu was already just trying to get their own lame heroes in it. Like the Ferret. This is a real hero for those that don't know. And he just shows up in the Street Fighter comic. He's like, I'm here, I'm the Ferret. Or whatever he says. I think that's his catchphrase. I'm here, I'm the Ferret. Anyway, he fights Honda in this issue and that's about it. And the comic pretty much stops after that. And I'll show you why. Because it had shit like this. They are his weakness. He can be made to fight Chun-Li. Who? What? Pig? Whoa! So, woman, you reject my affections? Reject you, you repulse me. Fireball! Is that the best you can do? Yeah, that's the Street Fighter comic book. I think in the next page, they kind of laugh this off, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. But then they do try to have some sort of relationship angle going on. Where he's like, but Chun-Li, for real serious, I got the hots for ya. And she's like, whatever. Oh, but we're not done though, because issue 3 ends with this? I think? Issue 2 ends with this. I don't know. Anyway, Ken tries to fight off both Balrog and Sagat. I don't know why you'd do that. And this is the last panel you see of Ken, I believe. Or like all of Ken. Because in the last panel we'll be looking at, I know I've shown this before in a couple of other videos, but Ryu opens up a package and he is delivered Ken's scalp. Ken, my oldest friend. No! I think this is the last page of the entire comic book run. So, as the legend goes, Capcom basically sent a letter to Malibu and said, immediately stop the project, please stop. And they just took the license away from them and canceled the whole thing. So he never got to see what happened. I think that's how it goes. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, comic book nerds. Maybe I don't think Generation West knows about this shit. Anyway, I will leave us on that panel. I hope that intrigued, delighted, and or titillated you. Let me know if you'd like me to look at some of the other comic books out there in the wide world. There's so many Udon comics that might be kind of an insurmountable task. There's still the KI 2013 comic. I could try to find Virtua Fighter. I could buy some of these comics that I don't have or I can't find on the internet and scan them or whatever. And we could just, laugh at this incredibly amazing time for fighting games. I hope it returns soon. Anyway, let me know what you thought in the comments below. And until then, I will see you in the Flophouse, my oldest friends.
1, 2, 3, 4, turn the beat back.